I'm sure I'm not speaking to myself. Please, if you can hear me, just give me a reaction. So I'm sure that are all great. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the session. It's good to see everybody on the call. I hope that you all had a nice day. Welcome. Yes, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. So, tonight promises to be very exciting, promises to be enlightening. I'm looking forward to sharing as much as I can to help you get your tech journey started. All right. It's my desire to help as many people on the call to give them clarity on how to start their tech journey. So we will be doing that immediately. So there's no need to, waste more time because we have quite a lot of things to cover tonight. So I will start by sharing my screen. So my screen will share in the next 1 minute. So let's wait for my screen to share in the next 1 minute and we can get right into it. All right, awesome. So if you can see my screen, all you need to do is to react. Just react. If you can see my screen, just react. Use any of your favorite reaction. Fantastic. All right. So welcome tonight. Our mission is very simple. All right. Our mission is very, very simple. We want to identify the simple steps that you need to take to start your tech career, even if you don't have any experience. All right. So if you're here on the call and you don't have any tech experience, you don't have any IT degree, anything whatsoever, what can you do? What steps can you take to actually get your tech journey started? You will learn a lot from the session tonight. So you want to stick around till the end of the session. And to take you on the session, my name is Ayobami Yusuf. All right. I head training operations here at Nebiant Analytics, and I've been doing data and IT for about, almost half a decade. So I have almost half a decade of experience in data, especially data analytics and also data analytics consulting. I've been doing that for close to 5 years, working across several industries across Europe and American companies. Um, and in the space of these 5 years, I've also helped to train and mentor hundreds of Africans. And I've been privileged to have been able to help a lot of people make the switch into tech. So through me, a lot of Africans have been able to land their first tech role with zero experience. All right. So that's what I've been able to do. And if you think that I started my journey in tech, you would be absolutely wrong. No, I did not start out my journey in tech. In fact, a few years back, I wasn't working in tech at all. I pivoted into tech. And what that means for you is that you can also do it. If I, Obami, without any technical background, previously working in banking and teaching in education and banking, was able to make the switch to tech, it means that regardless of what you're doing right now, it's also possible for you to make the switch into tech. And that is exactly what we are focused on here at Nebiant Analytics. We are not just any other ed tech company. There are a lot of ed tech companies. We don't want to identify in the number. All right. We set ourselves apart as a movement. All right. We like to see ourselves as a movement that is bridging a very crucial gap. And I'll say what that gap is, and maybe it will make sense to you. So we've discovered that in Africa, a lot of Africans are unable to represent us in global, in the global tech space. And what do I mean by that? If you look at any global organization, for instance, if you look at distribution of their workforce, you find out that they have quite a number of Indians, a number of Pakistanis, a number of Asians. But check the distribution of Africans in those companies. It's nothing good to write home about. And that is because these Asians, these Indians that we talk about, there's something about them that has been helping them to, have a vast representation in the global tech space. And what that is premium tech training. Asians have access to premium tech training, not just any tech training. And when we talk about premium tech training, I'm not sure if you have had any, interaction with Indians. If you've had, you would notice one thing that is very common to Indians. Indians have a very communal attitude. What do I mean? They are always out there to help each other rise to the top. And how they do that is this, by the opportunity to have worked with Indians, I've noticed that Indians don't just teach their people tech skills. They also find a way, after teaching them, they also find a way to position the people they've taught in strategic positions in tech. And that's how they were able to grow sporadically. And now, one out, let me say, two out of every tech professional in the world right now is an Indian. And that was how they were able to strategically infiltrate the tech space by giving access to premium tech programs that will both coach them and also position them for the jobs. But we now discovered that this is really lacking in Africa. And that is why we don't have enough African representation in the global tech space. And we decided, you know what, instead of just talking about this problem, why don't we solve it? And that was why we came together and we built Nebient Analytics to provide these premium tech trainings to Africa, especially in the area of, data. I'm talking about data analytics, data science, and business analysis. And we've been doing that for about 2 years. And in under 2 years alone, we've been able to see the results that we've seen in these Indians. We've been able to strategically help Africans, hundreds of Africans, to make the switch into tech. So if you're also looking to get into tech, whether you're a beginner or you're already in the tech space, you've been learning, but you want to position yourself for the opportunity, I dare say that Nebient is where your journey starts. So this is just a summary of what we do and who we are here at Nebient Analytics. So let's talk about why we are here basically. So let's look at our roadmap for tonight. What are we going to be talking about tonight? How are we going to move in our journey tonight? We will start, guys. We will start by looking at how other Africans like you have been able to land their first tech job without any experience. I mean, this makes sense to me because if I'm trying to get somewhere, it will make sense for me to want to ask somebody who is already there, how did you do it? Or don't you agree with me? Don't you think it makes sense to ask people that are already doing what we are trying to do, how they achieved it? Fantastic. I'm good. I'm happy that you guys agree with me. So it will make sense for us to see how have other Africans like you been able to land their first tech job without any experience, so that maybe we can identify some key learning points that we can take for ourselves and be able to follow in their footsteps by taking the same steps that they took. So after seeing how other Africans have been able to land their first job in tech, we'll then look at how you on the call can do the same, following in these people's footsteps by taking the same step that they took. So they went from not having any experience to landing their first job. What steps did they take? By the time that gets revealed, we'll then see how we can take the same steps. All right, because something that has worked for some people before, a lot of people would most likely work for. So that's why we're also going to talk about that. And by the time we are done with all of that, I will then share a special announcement with everybody on the call. And this special announcement is for people that are ready to take, their learning journey serious, people that are ready to start their tech journey, regardless of the fact that they don't have any experience. You are ready to do what these other Africans did. We will then share an announcement that will help you to start that journey, after which we will then have time to ask and answer questions. So guys, does this sound good to you? If this sound okay, give me a thumbs up to show that we are ready to go. Give me a thumbs up if we are good to go. Beautiful, beautiful. Fantastic. I love that. So, guys, without any further ado, let's start with the first thing, and which is let's see how other Africans like you have been able to land their first tech role without any experience. And the first person I want to introduce you to, all right, the first person I want to introduce you to, her name is Esther. All right, her name is Esther. Now, like many of you, all right, like many of you, you currently work in a non-technical field. Esther also worked as an on-field health practitioner for an NGO. All right, she worked, in fact, let me use that in the past tense. At the time, Esther was working as an on-field health practitioner for a non-governmental organization, up until the point where Esther was no longer satisfied with that. Esther wanted more. And by Esther wanting more, she wanted flexibility. She wanted work-life balance. She wanted to be able to work from the comfort of her home. And most especially, Esther wasn't satisfied with her current financial experience at the time. So Esther wanted more. What job can I do that would pay me more and give me more flexibility? And that was when Esther decided it was time to get into tech. By making that decision to get into tech, she knew that inadvertently what that meant was that she needed to have a technical skill, because at the time Esther did not have any technical skill. And then she decided to sign up for a data analytics training program. And that was the beginning of a turning point in Esther's life. Because when Esther joined our Nebient Analytics data analytics program, February this year, she went through our roadmap. There's a roadmap we usually take every of our students through. All right. And if you remember, we don't just offer tech training, we offer premium tech training. And for you to go through that premium tech training, there's a roadmap from month 1 till the end of the training that you have to go through that involves multiple steps. That is not just going to give you the skills, but will position you for the job. So Esther diligently went through all of these steps. And by the time Esther was done, fast forward to 3 months after Esther started her journey, in May 2025, Esther successfully landed her first job in tech, working as a monitoring and evaluation analyst for Prawa, Nigeria. So Esther went from being an on-field health practitioner to now working as a monitoring and evaluation analyst. That is just a fancy way of saying a data analyst. So Esther currently works as a data analyst for Prawa, Nigeria. So if it was possible for Esther, it means that it's also possible for other people. But let's see, are there other people too who have been able to transform their lives by going through the Nebient Analytics, training program? Let's see if this program has also, helped other people before we talked about what these people had to go through. All right. Now, let me introduce you to another African who was also able to make that switch. Now, this time around, this person is called Oluwaseun. All right. This is Oluwaseun. Now, Oluwaseun at the time was working in a microfinance bank as a risk officer. All right. As a risk officer, they call them credit risk and collections. All right. So he was working as a credit risk and collection officer. And I have an idea of what this role is about, because I also worked at a commercial bank before, and we used to have a credit risk officer, and their job, trust me, you don't want to wish it for your enemy. You see all these people that we borrow loan in banks, it is the job of people like Oluwaseun to ensure that those people pay back. And some of the things they have to do to ensure that these customers pay back would involve calling them. Madam, when are you going to pay back your loan? You see all those people that used to harass people on the phone after they borrowed money? These are the people. All right. So Their job is to ensure that every loan that customers borrow from the bank, these guys, their job is to ensure that the bank does not, have to bear the full risk. So that was what Oluwaseun was working. And you can begin to imagine how tedious and unsatisfying that job can be. All right. And it got to a point where Oluwaseun was no longer satisfied. He decided it was time to empower himself for more. And what Oluwaseun did was to join our business analysis training program. And the minute Oluwaseun decided to take this action, that was the beginning of a turnaround for his life. Because just a few weeks after Oluwaseun started his training journey, some of the things that he learned, which we are going to talk about, at length later, but let me just share some of them with you, is how to position yourself on LinkedIn. Because now we live in a day and age where social media is your best friend. And I don't mean any social media, I mean LinkedIn. All right. We live in a world where if you can milk the benefits of LinkedIn, you will literally cash out. But there's a way to position yourself on LinkedIn. And we taught that, and Oluwaseun learned that, and he started establishing himself as a voice in the business analysis field. And shortly after, he was recognized as a top voice. If you know what that means on LinkedIn, if you're using LinkedIn, please give me a thumbs up. If you know LinkedIn, you know how LinkedIn works, or you have a LinkedIn profile, please give me a thumbs up. Beautiful. So I want to ask another question. All right. Let me ask another question. If you know, all right, so we can stop the reaction now. So I can ask my second question. Thank you very much, guys. So my second question is this. If you know who a top voice is on LinkedIn, all right, you've heard of top voice, somebody who has a badge of top voice. You know what that means. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. If you know what to have a LinkedIn top voice, that badge, if you know what it means, fantastic. So we know some people on the call know what that means. And what that literally means is that this person is a thought leader in that field. And in just a matter of weeks, all right, in a matter of weeks, by consistently posting all the things he's learning from us, by consistently posting and supporting other people on LinkedIn, he was able to bag that badge. And that led him to landing several business analysis gigs. So a lot of people reach out to him because now he's a top voice. So people, began to accord him that respect and that, what will I call it, that rep. So it's easy to trust somebody who is a top voice on LinkedIn to say, oh, I want you to take up this job. And that was literally what transformed Oluwaseun's life. So from getting several business analysis gigs, Oluwaseun now currently works full-time as a business analyst for an organization called Your Innovations Blog. So Oluwaseun currently works as a business analyst, going from working as a risk officer to working full-time as a business analyst. So these are people who had gone from here down to here only by accessing a training program that, now this is where I'm going, not just gives them the skill, and we will see everything that these people had to do, all right, to be able to go from whatever they were doing to landing a data or tech job. We're going to see. So you might be wondering, how did these people, all right, how did these people achieve all of this? How did these people achieve all of this? I mean, we might not really be interested in knowing that they have achieved this. I mean, it's good to know that, oh, yes, Oluwaseun now works in data, Esther now works as a monitoring and evaluation analyst. But I think that what you would be most likely to be interested in is, how did they achieve it? What did they do? If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you're also, asking yourself, how did these people achieve this? What exactly did they do? So that I can also do the same. Great. So I would have gone ahead to share the story of a lot of people, although I might still have time to share more people, but I just showed you these people first of all to show you what is possible. Now, let's talk about what made this possible. All right. So, what made it possible for these people to land their first tech job in months? All right. While they were still working. All right. They didn't lose their job. Esther was still working as an on field health practitioner. Oluwaseun was still working as a risk officer, you know. But going from that, they were all able to land their first job. What did they do? Now, all of these guys, and the more people, if we have more time, we'll share the story of other people that also were able to go from non-technical roles to full-time tech roles. All that they did was to adopt a framework that we have been teaching for years. And this framework is a framework that lands a tech job, that lands people their first tech job. We call that framework a framework for landing a tech job as a beginner. And we've tested out this framework on hundreds of Africans, and it has worked each time. And we have now fully adopted this framework as the framework that will help any African looking to transition into tech. If you're an African, you want to get into tech, all you need is this framework. It's a step-by-step framework, and this forms the steps that you need to land your first tech job in Africa. And I have somebody on the call. All right. I have a guest on the call, and this guest is also going to speak to, how this framework has helped them. Now, you might not want to believe me, but let's hear from somebody. Let's hear from somebody that has actually also applied this framework. We created this framework, but let's see, do we have somebody who has actually followed this framework and it worked for them? All right, let's hear from them and we can then know, oh, truly this framework works for them. All right, so I have a guest, and the guest is going to be sharing in just a short time. All right, in just a short time. So when that time is up, I'm going to call our guest up and she's going to share with us. Is that okay, guys? Give me a thumbs up if that is okay. Give me a thumbs up if that is okay. Fantastic. So, but first of all, let's see what this framework is all about. What this framework is all about. Now, before I even share the framework, I want you to know, because we are getting to the serious part of the session now. All right. So this is the part where you pay attention attentively. Sounds like a tautology, but it is intentional. You need to attentively pay attention. But don't worry, in case you miss out on anything, do not worry, the session is recorded. And if you look at the in-call message, if you look at the chat box, you will see that my colleague has been sharing the attendance form. So there's an attendance form that we are sharing. Now, we are recording this session as we speak. All right, this session is being recorded. We will be sharing the recording with you after the session so that you can go over it again in case you miss out on anything. And also the slide that I'm using to present for tonight would also be sharing that with you. So both the recording and then the slides, we'll be sharing that with you. And for you to access that, all you need to do is to fill out the attendance form. And once you fill out the attendance form, that is all you need. And we'll take, that and use it to send the recording of the session and also the slides. Is that fine, guys? If that is fine, please let me know by reacting to that. If you got everything I said about the attendance, please give me a thumbs up and we can proceed. Beautiful. All right. So who wants to remind me where we stopped? We have talked about Esther, we have talked about Oluwaseun, and we also how they were able to go from non-technical roles to landing their first tech job. So now, what were we trying to do next? Type that in the chat. So I'm sure that you're following me. This is a test, right? So this is your first test for tonight. Now, what do we want to talk about now? Let's see who is following me. Type that in the chat. Fantastic. Michael says framework. Beautiful. So Michael is following me. Who else? Who else is following me? Just type what we are talking about. framework, the exact framework that these people followed. Beautiful. So now all these people were able to go from non-technical roles when they got tired of their situation at the time. They wanted more. They wanted more. And they came to Nebient Analytics, and we taught them, or we took them through the framework that we've been using for a lot of Africans. And that was what helped them. So what is this framework? What are the steps in this framework? What are the steps in this framework? Let's take a look at the steps in this framework that you need to follow to go from non-technical roles to landing your first tech job. And the first one is a no-brainer. The first one is very obvious, all right? The first one is very obvious. You need to start by learning a skill, all right? So the first step in that framework is to learn a skill. If you're going to get into tech without a tech skill, there's no way you are getting a tech job. I think that makes sense, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody at all? Does that make sense to anybody at all? Fantastic. So the first thing is to learn, but there's a caveat to this. Everybody in the world knows this. If you want to get into tech, you need to learn a tech skill. Everybody in the world knows this. Everybody in the world knows this. But what people don't know is that there are some tech skills that you will learn, or that you would attempt to learn, that it will take you years before you can achieve the result. And let's not forget what the result is. What is the result? We want to be able to land a tech job. So a lot of people usually fail at this point. All right, they fail at this point because all they know is, oh, learn a tech skill, learn a tech skill. Everybody is just saying learn a tech skill, but they don't know that there are tech skills that you can learn, that in a few months you are closer to landing your first job. And there are other tech skills you will learn that it will take you 2 to 3 years before you can even smell your first opportunity. So instead of telling people learn a tech skill, what do? We streamline that to the most highly in demand tech skill available to us as Africans. So this is the separating line here at Nebient Analytics. We won't just tell you, oh, go and learn a tech skill. No, we will streamline that to the highly in demand tech skill, such that if you learn and focus on these areas in tech, your chances of landing your first job is way higher compared to focusing on career paths in tech that will not take you anywhere. All right, that will not take you anywhere. Rufus, all you need to do is fill out the attendance form. My colleague is going to share the link again. All right, my colleague is going to keep sharing the link. Click on it. They have shared it now. Click on the link and fill out the attendance form. So let's talk about these high in demand tech skills that you should focus on as an African. So if you're an African, you want to land a tech job in the shortest time possible. You want to focus on these 3 high in demand tech skills. Number 1, data analytics. All right. Number 2, data science. Number 3, business analysis. Hold on, I know what you are thinking. So Ayobami, how did you come up with this list? How did you arrive at this list? Who gave you authority to pronounce these 3 skills as the best 3 tech skills to focus on as an African? I know you are wondering. If you are wondering that, let's be honest, give me a thumbs up. If you're wondering, who gave Ayobami the authority to just, pronounce these tech skills as the king of tech skills? No. Fantastic. I know you're wondering. All right. So I came with an answer for you. I did not come up with this list myself. All right. I did not come up with this list myself. I relied, or let's say, at Nebient Analytics, we relied on authority. We relied on global authority. And when it comes to jobs, all right, when it comes to jobs, the number one authority, when it comes to anything about economy, whatever, the number one authority that will that anybody can trust when it comes to the economy is the World Economic Forum. How many of you are familiar with the World Economic Forum? How many of you are familiar with the World Economic Forum? If you're familiar with the World Economic Forum, please give me a thumbs up. You've heard of that forum before, the World Economic Forum. Beautiful. Babatunde is familiar. Tete is familiar. Yanu, Ridwan, Emmanuel, Mercy. Beautiful. So now, the World Economic Forum, for those of us who are not familiar with WEF, all right, it's another international organization like the IMF, like the United Nations, but this is a body that concerns itself with economy of nations. So it is made up of global leaders when it comes to economic affairs. All right. It's made up of global leaders and world leaders. So they make up this forum. And every year, maybe not every year, I don't want to sound like an authority on that. I'm not sure if it is every year, but I know that in some years, they do what is called an economic research, right? They do frequent research on the state of the economy, of that year and going into the future. So in 2025, they did the same thing, all right? And after doing their research, they published a report. And that report is called the Future of Jobs 2025 report. How many of you came across that report or you even read it? The 2025 World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs. If you came across that report, I think it was trending around, say, January, February, March. It was really trending around that time. If you had ever come across the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, you can Google it right now, all right? You can Google it right now. If you've not heard of it before, you can Google it, all right? So that report states, in that report, one of the things we saw in that report is that by 2030, the demand for data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, business analysts, BI analysts, other big data and database professionals, the demand for these professionals will grow by 30 to 35% from now. That is 2025 to 2030. You can just go and fact check me online now so that it's not like Ayobami is saying what he likes. Just go and, what did World Economic Forum's Future of Job 2025 report say in summary? Just go and look for the summary. You find out that the summary is that by 2030, all right, the demand for data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, BI analysts, business analysts, other big data and database professionals will grow by 30 to 35%. So what they are saying, all this one is big English, guys. Let's break it down. What they are saying is right now, from now till 2030, the professionals or the tech areas that people will be demanding for are data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, BI analysts, that is business intelligence analysts, business analysts, big data, and database professionals. These are the career that organizations will be massively demanding for. All right. So that is what it really means. So what did we do? We took that report. We didn't just trust it. All right. We didn't just trust that report. We now say, you know what? Let's validate this claim. So we went online. We went on so many job search applications and platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, and we looked at all the job postings on daily basis and we analyzed it and we discovered that the job that organizations put out the most, the vacancies that organizations put out the most, on the top, are data analysts, data scientists, and business analysts. Guys, does it confirm what World Economic Forum had put out in their report or not? Does it confirm it or not? Give me a thumbs up if it confirms it. Give me a thumbs down if it does not confirm it. Fantastic. So we now took all of that insight and we decided that, you know what, this right now, as an African, if you want to be smart, if you want to get into tech, you want to focus on areas in tech where organizations are looking for professionals in. Doesn't that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Sumbo gave me thumbs down. Sumbo, do you want to share a contradictory opinion? I mean, I would really, really love to learn. Sumbo, you can type. I saw Sumbo's thumbs down, and I really love to know what that was about. So Sumbo, please type out your, your insights or your comments in the chat. I love to read. All right. So, I mean, it makes sense for us to say, oh, if organizations are looking for these people, let me learn the skills to be able to take up these opportunities. And this was how we were able to come up with our list of high in demand tech skills. So you want to focus on these tech skills if you're looking to get into tech in the shortest time possible. So that will be your step one. That is the first thing you need to do if you're looking to get started in tech and get a job in the shortest time possible. And this is exactly where our students start. And all these people that I've mentioned, this is where we start them from. We drill them on one of these high in demand tech skills. So does that make sense? Step one is step one noted. Have we gotten step one? Have we gotten step one? Have we gotten step one? So tests to be sure that you got step one. What is step one in the framework? Type it in the chat. Don't give me a thumbs up. For you to prove that you are following, what is step one? If you are saying learn, you have not really gotten the actual step. If you are just saying learn a tech skill, you have not gotten the points that I'm trying to make. If you say learn a tech skill, I could say, oh, I want to learn software engineering. I want to learn artificial intelligence. I want to learn machine learning. Fantastic. Learn a high in demand tech skill. Beautiful. Now you guys are proving that you are following me. So the first step is always to pick a high in demand tech skill, and we have broken them down. We've listed them. Now, what are the 3 top most high in demand tech skill in the market right now? Put that in the chat. All right, somebody said that was a mistake. Put that in the chat. What are the 3 most high in demand tech skills right now? To prove that you're following, I want to know. Fantastic. Fantastic. Exactly. Good. So that is the first step. So every of these guys, the first step that they go through is they pick one of these high in demand tech skill and we train them rigorously. We train them rigorously and they are ready to take up opportunities. But guys, this is where we need to now relax again and pay extra attention. You would think that anybody who has satisfied step one is ready to start landing jobs. And this is another mistake that Africans make. You see somebody, they go on YouTube, they watch tutorials, they go on Coursera, they take a course, they do this, they do that. They feel, oh, now I'm ready. Let me now start looking for a job. But the reality now is that the fact that you have a tech skill does not mean you are ready to get a job. But let's talk about why, as an African, these career paths are the best for you. Very simple reasons. Number one, they are easy to learn. Why you want to pick one of these skills is, number one, they are very easy to learn. Number two, they are easy to transition to. You can easily land a job. Why? Because it is highly in demand. because it is highly in demand. So you have better chances of transitioning in any of these three career paths compared to other career paths in tech. And the last reason is because they have great salary projections. The kind of money you are going to make in data analysis, data science, and business analysis is way better than any other easy career path in tech, like digital marketing. You cannot compare the salary of a digital marketer to the salary of a data scientist or a data analyst. Some easy areas that people are also looking to now is virtual assistants. They will say, oh, if I'm doing virtual assistants, I'm working in tech. But you cannot compare the salary of a virtual assistant to that of a data analyst. Let me think of another easy career path in tech. Maybe copywriting. All right, maybe copywriting. Also, you cannot compare the salary of a copywriter to that of a data analyst or a data scientist or a business analyst. So these career paths also have great salary projections. All right. Did we get that? This is another reason why these career paths are amazing for you to focus on. Give me a thumbs up if you got that. Please give me a thumbs up if you got that. Beautiful. So if we are now looking to get started in any of these three career paths, what do they entail? What do these career paths entail? And after this, I'm going to ask, my guests to share with us how our own journey, how our own journey was. She shares with us, and then we can see how this framework has helped her, even though we've not covered every step in the framework. All right. But let's start. If you want to become a data analyst, what does it entail? As a data analyst, your job, all right, will simply be to help businesses uncover insights from their data. So any of our students that want to become a data analyst, what we teach them is how can you uncover valuable insights from your data? All right. How can you uncover valuable insights from your data? Guys, if you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but let me confirm. All right, because I can see some misbehavior with my network. Apologies. Let me try to fix my network. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what is going on, but let me just fix my network. All right. Give me 1 second. I think the network that I connected my laptop to is disabled. Welcome to Nigeria, where network can just misbehave anytime they like. So apologies. Let me try to rejoin. I've switched my now to give you a very seamless experience, because I don't trust these people. So I'm using multiple networks to host this webinar so that we can have a seamless experience. So I'm rejoining now. I'm rejoining with my laptop so I can go back to sharing my screen. So my laptop will share in a second now. But before we get into all of that, can we have I want to first of all be sure that our guest is on the call before we proceed. So we would listen to our guest first, and then we will continue with what we have. So I want to be sure that Tosin is on the call. Hi, Tosin. If you're on the call, all you need to do is give me a thumbs up. Hi, Tosin. Give me a thumbs up if you are on the call. Awesome. Guys, can we celebrate Tosin? Can we give Tosin like a clap emoji so that we can welcome Tosin? Fantastic. So Tosin, if you don't mind, you can share your screen. If you don't mind, you can, did I say share your screen? I mean, you can share your video, you can turn on your video. Let's meet you. And if that is fine by you, You can turn on your video so that we can get to see you and listen to you. And you can also unmute your mic and say hi to our listeners.
Hi everyone, good evening.
Hi, Tosin. Good evening. You're welcome. Let me just ping
Yeah.
you. Great. So everybody, can we see Tosin? Can we see Tosin? Just give me a thumbs up. Fantastic. So Tosin is one of our very fantastic students who recently completed our program and landed our first tech job. All right. So I want us to listen to Tosin tonight. Like you. Before now, some months back, she was working in a non-technical role, but right now, Tosin was able to, make that switch. How did Tosin do it? What did she do? And what can we learn from Tosin? So that's what I want you to pay attention to so that we can see how we can adopt Tosin's framework. So I, Tosin, do you want to quickly introduce yourself to us and tell us about your learning journey here at Nebiant Analytics?
Hi Ayabami. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible. Sorry, please, it might be dark. It's just like how Ayabami was saying. We are in Nigeria. The power holding decided to do what they do, and they held
But
the
we can see
light.
you talking. You're
So,
you're bright enough.
okay. So my name is Tosin. My name is Tosin, and I I Okay, so I want said something that I landed my role after completing my program. I'm actually still in my program, but I got a job. I
Oh
was
wow.
yes,
I
I
didn't even
got a
know
job. I'm of the May cohort, so we are rounding up. We are in internship right now, so we are not done. And I started working in August. I resumed in August. So I started the interviews in July. So yes, I have a background in supply chain, that is logistics and operation. For those of us that know logistics and operation, it's yes, I have like years of experience. But this year I started, all the late hours, all of that. It was so stressful, and it's quite difficult for you to get a better pay. We know how it is. And so I was dissatisfied. But then my company did something where they felt that okay, they they sold out the part of the operations part, that is the logistics part of the company, to an a different firm. And then the firm was supposed to come give us offer, and we were already on this job, and the offer we were on currently, we were still complaining about it. Then another firm took over and then gave us lesser offer. So you know how it is. So I left in March, and then I was just there. I saw just like this, a webinar like this, but Mohammed hosted that day. And then I was still contemplating. You know how it is, where there's this fear when you hear tech, you start getting scared. I remember asking Mohammed that, is it possible for me to, I don't have experience. Yes, I know how to turn on my laptop, I know how to do some of those things, but I don't have. And how scary can it be? When you join, I have joined different, I was joining webinars. So that was in March. I was going from one webinar, like just scouting, trying to look for the best place to join. And then the way you hear people talk about it, data science, data analytics, and all of that, it was so scary. It was looking like, maybe it's for the youngsters, maybe those people that just finished secondary school and all. And me, that I am already in the corporate world and all. So Mohammed took us through business analysis. And then I was like, yes, this is tech, but not tech. What I mean by but not tech is, all those data cleaning and all of that. You need to do stakeholder engagement, all of those things that I'm already used to, but in a different way. Then I need to add, the technical aspect of it. And then I joined. I decided to try it out. Said, okay, thought that I don't have anything doing right now, and there's nothing to lose. but I was just still worried. I didn't have much money. So it was like throwing my last card. So I decided to sign up. And then it's not just the course. One funny thing about this thing is it's not just, yes, you signed up for business analysis, then Nebians will just take you through your business analysis class and then wave you goodbye. No, it wasn't just the class, it wasn't just the curriculum. There were extracurricular activities, like we did LinkedIn optimization, CV revamping, we did, all of that. We did mentorship every Thursday, where someone will come talk to us, just building our confidence, building me, especially building my confidence. Then I started posting on LinkedIn. You remember I said I left my job, yeah? I started posting on LinkedIn. I started, our um uh, I'm trying to Juma Aisha.
Instructor.
Thank you. English just ran away. Our instructor would come week in, week out, and then she would tell us these things. She would teach us. It was made so simple. I remember I had a colleague, I have actually Maureen. Maureen is in her 50s. Maureen is in her 50s. She's like the oldest in our class. Maureen is in her 50s. We even had people that were not in Nigeria. So that is to tell you that it was so easy for everybody to follow. We had people that were busy, people that were working, people that sometimes will be in classes, someone will say they are in a meeting. That's how. It's not like maybe it was for people that don't have job like myself. Like, oh, okay, the training is for job people that jobless people. No, it was easy to follow through. As I said, Maureen is in her 50s, and we are all graduating together. So
I'm sorry. You said
yeah.
something very very powerful now. Now, so what you said, I want to ask a question. Would you say there's like an age barrier to getting into tech from your
No,
experience?
no, I thought there was going to be an age, but I thought, the way it was presented, the way it has been presented, it's like maybe it's for freshers, like maybe people that just
Mhm.
finished secondary school or people that just graduated and all. I've been in the corporate space for more than 7 years, like after graduation. So I started thinking that I remember my younger brother joking and like, you want to go back to school right now and can't see anything where you want to learn na tech. I was scared. Or as I said, Maureen is, I'm using like a classmate of mine. Maureen is in her 50s. So if you think I'm young, Maureen is in her 50s. And juggle all of that with family, with she was employed, like she was a manager, she's a manager. So you imagine all of that, maybe you'll be feeling like, okay, she does not have a job, that's why she's talking about it like that. No, it was easy to follow through. Then I changed, I revamped my CV, I created my portfolio, all of this from trainings that I've gotten, not just the business analysis that I signed up for, all of these trainings. And then I started posting week in, week out on LinkedIn. I started posting continually, like posted my progress. I remember for one of our mentorship section, we were enjoyed like to do like my journey, like a story of my journey, my business. So I remember I tagged it my business analysis journey, and then I started posting. So it's not just what we were trained in class, like how I would infuse it into my experience, my experience and all. So I was posting, and here is the shocker: the company that lets me go, because of course I didn't have anything to offer, they reached out to me themselves. I didn't reach
Mm.
out to them. Yes, 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 they did. I remember after getting my termination in March, we were still, how you still be struggling within the company, trying to look for somewhere to another department to that would take you in. Some people were,
Absolutely.
Yeah, some people got that offer, but I did not, because to think about it, all I knew how to do was logistics and operations. And that place no longer existed in the company. I applied. I remember traveling from Abuja to Ibadan to Lagos. Like I was looking for, but then I joined the May cohort. May, I started posting in May, June, and I was learning alongside. It's not like I was just posting, I was learning alongside, and I was graphical about my posts. I was showing them what I was learning. It's not like just speaking English like words, words, words. I would crop out what I did and then post a picture and do a little write up on it. Crop out, like, I don't know if you are getting the picture I'm trying to paint.
So
Like,
that's
I'll
that's
crop
another
out.
that's another strategic thing. So yes, I get
Yes.
what you mean. So here's another
Hmm.
strategic thing you're saying. So it's not alone to learn. Let people know. Put yourself out there. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, actually, I'll crop out what I've learned. Like, maybe I designed my dashboard on Excel. I designed my dashboard on Power BI. Then I would do it like a copy. I would do like a bitmap. Copy it out and then post it. I title it my first Excel then dashboard. Then explain the dashboard. You understand? So
Mm.
my process mapping, did all of that. I was visual about it. I was always there, because I remember Aisha would always ask us that. Yes, because she encouraged us to link with ourselves, even with her. So sometimes she'll come and like your page, so she sees it, so she will talk about it, like for 5 minutes in the training. She would say, okay, this thing, this thing, this thing. So we were doing all of that. This company reached out that they had an opening for a role. This role is higher than what I was doing before. More pay, more status in the company. And the HR reached out to me and was like, the COO, that's the Chief Operations Officer, who is actually a connection of mine on LinkedIn, saw my post and said they should reach out to me with this. That I hope is not just maybe I am copying it. I hope I know. I said, interview me,
Mm.
then see if I know what I am talking about. And you know why I was able to say that? Because I was scared, but there is a section in Nibians where they'll teach you how to ace interviews. I have a CV that was, my instructor vetted my CV. She walked me through it, through the interview process. So that's why I'm saying that Nibians will not just give you what you came for, what you signed up for. They'll give you more. She walked me through my interview. She was always, I will ask her questions. She got me materials. We did there's different sections on interview questions and all of that. That videos that were posted in our classroom. And like our Google Classroom, you could watch them several times. You watch them several times and all. So all of that, and then I went for the interview. There were 3 rounds of interview. Three. I went for the first one, I went for the second one, I went for the third one, and then right in July, all of this was happening in July. So I was just 2 months into my program, and then I started, and all of that was happening. So all of this was happening in July, and I resumed in August 4th. I
Amazing, amazing, amazing. See, in fact, if this is all we talked about tonight, you have said so much without even realizing it. You probably didn't even realize a lot of things you've said. You've said
mm,
something. Now, guys, I want you to pay attention to this. She mentioned that she lost her job, right? She lost her job and she upskilled. That's the first step. You remember the first step, right? You upskill. You learn AI in demand tech skill. But guys, do you think that was what got her the job? Let's discuss now while Tosin is still here. Do you think it was the upskilling part alone, the fact that she upskilled alone that got her the job? Guys, give me a thumbs up if you think it was only the upskilling that got her the job. Give me a thumbs down if you don't think so. Beautiful. So she had the knowledge, but if she hadn't put herself out there, she probably wouldn't have never gotten the job. All right. So what I'm saying is it boils down to what we are having a conversation about. A lot of Africans think all you need, all right, oh, just learn a tech skill, and this is what they tell us: learn a tech skill, you will get a job. But that is not what gets anybody any job. And you can confirm this. Go online, go on LinkedIn and look for data analysts, for instance. You see a lot of people who call themselves data analysts because they have learned a data analysis course in the past. But look at where they currently work. They don't currently have a data analyst job. So that means you need beyond the step one. She had completed the first step, she had learned, and she was very confident about what she learned. But she decided to take it a notch further and she moved to step two. All right. When we get to step two, you will see everything that Tosin have talked about is what we are going to see in step two. All right. But Tosin has even finished my slides. All right. Tosin has finished my slides even before I got to it. And this proves something that every of our students have to go through the entire three steps in the framework that lands an African AI paying job. So thank you very much, Tosin. In fact, I wish I could close this session after you have spoken. I just want to close the session because you have spoken about my slides entirely. So thank you very much. And guys, I hope we got something from everything that Tosin has said. Give her a celebration emoji if that was quite. Want to give any last words to our audience? Hi, Tosin, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 I can hear you.
All right. So I was asking if you have like any last words you want to share with our audience before you.
Okay, I would just like to say that first of all, you need to make the decision. The first decision is to put yourself out there, like you want to learn something. That's the first decision. Because if you're still thinking about it, nothing would change. Decide that you want
Mm,
to learn it. And then trust me, I don't know how to make you understand this. Choose Nibians, please. Like, I'm not saying this, but maybe you'll be feeling like, oh, na Nigeria, maybe they don't pay her. See, choose Nibians. I'm serious. Choose Nibians. Because I didn't just get the skill. Like I said before, it's not just the business analysis skill. Okay, so I currently work as a regional customer manager. It doesn't sound like business analysis, right? It doesn't sound like a business analyst, but it will shock you saying that business analysis things that they do here. I don't know if you understand. So they taught me that, like, I got value for my money, and I am not even done with my program yet. It's a community. Maybe oh, I didn't even mention something. Sorry, Ayobami, that I'm taking your time. Nebians, what something else that they do is they source for jobs. Go to LinkedIn and all this other source for these jobs and post it in our from the very first day we started. I remember a classmate of mine saying that, are you sure we are good enough to say no, start applying. They post these jobs, legit jobs. We apply. Some people started getting interviews. Like, start building your confidence. You start knowing, then you share. If you got an interview, you come and share what you learned and all of that. So they are so sure of what they were teaching us that in 1 month they started posting job openings for us to apply. So please choose Nibians. Thank you. Thank you, Ayobami.
amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Tosin. You can hear the passion. I don't know about you, but I could really hear the passion in Tosin's voice, and that tells you, how much value Tosin was able to get from the program. And it's one thing, all right, guys, it's one thing for you to pay for a program. Imagine that Tosin had paid for this program and she hadn't gotten the kind of value that she got. Do you think she would be willing to come on the session to want to talk to other people with this much passion in her voice? How many of you could see or hear the passion in her voice? How many of you could hear passion in her voice? That's to tell you how much value she got from the program. All right. And that was because she had access to the framework, all right, that works. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead to talk about I'm going to skip a lot of slides, to be honest, because Tosin has literally covered my slides. So I'm going to skip a lot of slides. But one thing I want to point out is now, to be sure that we are still together, who can remind me the first step? All right. Who can remind me the first step in the 3-step framework? Who can remind me the first step so that we are sure that we are still on the same page? Who can remind me? Put it in a chat. Remind me the first step in the framework that got Tosin the job, that got Oluwaseun the job, that got Esther the job. Great. Fantastic. So we are still together. And one thing Tosin was also able to establish is never stop at step one. Never stop at step one. Because if Tosin had stopped from step one, she probably wouldn't have gotten that job. And a lot of Africans get stuck at step one. A lot of Africans just say, oh, I have a skill now. Let me start looking for a job. But they forget one crucial information, that the fact that you have a skill does not mean you are the only one that have that skill. So you have the skill, right? Fantastic. But don't forget that 1,001 other people also have the same skill, maybe even better than yours. So what stands you out? What really makes it that you are the one that should get the job? All right. So to ensure that our students are always positioned for the job, we don't stop at step one. All right. Our students will never stop at step one because we take them through the next step. Now, we have realized that a lot of Africans are stuck, and it is why the only thing that some people have to show for having a skill is a certificate. But it is not certificate you wanted to learn for. You didn't learn a skill for certificates. You wanted to get a job. For some people, the only thing they have to show are certificates. All right. Having a technical skill is only halfway down the job. So you don't stop at step one. So let's go to step two. After learning high in demand skill, what else do we take our students through? What's the next step that we take our students through to ensure that they get the job? Then we move to step two. And what is step two? Step two is now where we position them for the job. But now we have taught them the skill, but having the skill is not enough. So what else do we do to ensure that these people are better positioned for the job? And Tosin has talked about everything in this step two. So I'm just going to be breezing over these things. Number one, CV assessment. If you are applying to jobs in 2025 and you are not very conscious about your CV, then probably you are the one shooting yourselves in the leg. I know a lot of people have one folder where they store their CV, such that when they want to apply to any job, they just go to that folder, grab that CV, and apply to the job. They don't even bother checking whether the CV matches well with the job they are applying to. They just send their CV randomly. If they want to apply to 10 jobs in a day, they will send the same CV to apply to those 10 jobs. That is why you're not getting a job. So every of our students, the CV they are bringing to our program, we first of all, they forget about it, all right? Because we have a tool and a system that will take their CV through to ensure that their CV is in the best state, all right? So we would assess their CV and revamp their CV and also teach them a technique in getting a job. And that technique is called CV job matching. All right. They have a session where they are going to be taught on how to do CV job matching. And it is when you do CV job matching that your CV, apologies for that, guys, that your CV, apologies, that your CV will match the job you're applying to directly, and in whenever your CV is taken through an ATS system, that CV will rank well. So every of our students have to go through the CV assessment program. If not, you will not graduate. Your CV must be in the best of state before you graduate. It's compulsory. It's if you say you don't want to land a job, we will force you to be successful. Another thing we will take them through is LinkedIn profile optimization. And this was even what got uh, posting the job. You remember when she talked about always posting on LinkedIn, and our previous boss saw that she has started upskilling, she has started learning new things, she has more knowledge now, and they saw an opening that she could fill based on what she had been posting. So LinkedIn is very, very important. We also have another student. I'm going to share our story later. Her name is Lebura Olawale. You can go through her profile. Just search Lebura Olawale on LinkedIn. This student story is very, very unbelievable. Lebura Olawale, like every of our students, signed up for the program. She built her first dashboard, and usually you will build your first dashboard in the third week, because in the first to second week you are learning the fundamentals. So by the third week you are ready to build your first Excel dashboard, and that was what Lebura did. She built her first dashboard in the third week on the program, and she posted that dashboard on LinkedIn. Guys, guess what? When she posted that dashboard, somebody saw that dashboard and loved what she did and reached out to her via DM to ask her if she was available to discuss a job opportunity that they would like her to replicate that kind of reporting skill on the projects that they are currently working on. And she reached out to us that she's been offered a job, and we prepared her for the interview, and she got the job in the third week. So you see how important your LinkedIn is. Another thing you would also go through compulsorily as a student is that you must have a project portfolio. What is a project portfolio? It's a portfolio, is a house, let me call it that. Is where you keep all the work you have done before. So for instance, if a recruiter asks you, have you done this before? Have you worked on this problem before? Do you know how to do this? Instead of telling them, yes, I can, you would rather show them. So when you show potential recruiters the previous solutions you built, they are now more confident to want to give you the job or consider you for the job at least. So without a portfolio, you are decreasing your chance of landing a job. So that is why our students must go through the portfolio building program. It's compulsory. Every Nebient Analytics student must go through the portfolio development program. That increases your chance of landing a job. You will build a project portfolio by yourself without writing a single line of code. You're not going to write a single line of code. You're going to build a website that you can share with potential recruiters. They'll take a look at your website, see the project you've built, and if they like it, they're going to consider you for the role. And with the kind of projects that our students have to build, no recruiter is going to see it and not like it. All right. Another thing is the Upwork profile setup. What does this mean? So for students who maybe they don't want to work 9 to 5, or maybe they even want to work 9 to 5, but they also want to work extra gigs. All right. They want to do extra jobs on the side. You can freelance your skill. The fact that you are working for an organization does not mean you can only earn from that organization. You can work 9 to 5 with that organization and also have freelancing opportunities where you make some extra money from. And you can do that on Upwork. So we also take our students through Upwork. We create an Upwork profile for them. For people that already have Upwork profile, we are going to revamp their profile to make it attractive. Because if your Upwork profile is not attractive, it's not going to attract recruiters. So we ensure that your profile, both your LinkedIn and your Upwork profile, they are very attractive, such that they are even the ones attracting recruiters to you. You are not the one pursuing opportunity. So this is another positioning platform or opportunity that we take our students through. And another thing that we don't joke with, and you also heard how that helped Oluwatosin, is mentorship. If you're trying to get into something newly and you don't have somebody guiding you, you are going to be frustrated. And when you are frustrated and you don't have anybody to support you, what do you think will happen to you? Who wants to guess in the chat? Tell me in the chat. You are venturing into something new. You don't have someone to guide you. You don't have anybody to support you in that journey, and you get frustrated. What do you think is going to happen next? Let me hear your view. What do you think is going to happen next? You would give up. Exactly what I would have said. You would give up. And that is what happens to a lot of people. You will quit. Exactly. So on the program, you will get access to many mentors, not just one. All right. Many mentors, experts in their respective fields. We have experts who are experts at CV, experts at interviews, experts at Upwork, experts at motivation, expert at so many things. So you get access to these different mentors throughout your journey. They will be there with you every Thursday. You heard when Oluwatosin mentioned that during our Thursday sessions and mentorship sessions, she learned a lot that kept her in the journey to ensure that she landed the job. So you are going to get access to these mentors and you're going to meet with them weekly. So there's no way you give up. In fact, if you want to give up, these people would not allow you to give up, because if you give up, it means they have failed and they don't want to fail. So they would always ensure that they hold you by the hand. And guess what? This access to these mentors is for a lifetime. What does that mean? Even after their program, our students still have access to these mentors. So the fact that you are done with your program in Nebient Analytics does not mean you no longer have access to our support systems. No. These mentors that you had access to while on the program, you have access to them for life. Is lifetime. All right. And also all the materials you are using to learn, all the learning resources you had access to is also for life. All right. So those are some of the things that our students have access to that we use to position them for the job. And guys, another positioning opportunity that our students enjoy is interview preparation. We will teach you, we will position you for the job, and when you now have interviews, we will still prepare you for those interviews. All right. In fact, a lot of our students love this so much. Whenever they have interviews, they book our interview preparation session. We prepare them for the interview, and that increases their chance of getting their first job. Imagine something you've not done before, a job you've not interviewed for before, and you just went into that interview unprepared. Do you think you are likely to perform well? Well, you might, because you probably had gone through your mentors, they have taught you how to answer interview questions. But how sweet is it to even have somebody be on a call with you and prepare you for an interview directly? Your chances increases sporadically. All right. So these are some of the reasons why our students interview for job and they get it, because after having access to their mentors who teach them and train them, when they now have the interview, actually, we'll still have another preparation session with them where we simulate a real world interview session. We ask them questions like it's in a real world interview. That boosts their confidence. They won't cram anything. They will just give them an experience of how a technical interview usually goes down. All right. So these are the things that increases our students' chance of landing a job. And this is our extra source. So you want to pay attention at this point. In fact, I ought to charge you guys money to share this information with you. I would have said, you guys, everybody contribute 10,000 naira now. I'll drop my account number to show you because I'm giving you our secrets. All right. I want to give you why our students, a lot of our students get jobs. All right. This is a secret that a lot of ed techs don't know right now. So why I'm asking you, why I would have asked you to contribute money is there might be an EdTech somebody on this call. They will now go and learn this from me and go and start using it, and they will be achieving the results we're achieving. But let me share it with you. What we also do to ensure that our students are positioned for the job is that we refer them to jobs directly. And a lot of our students have gotten job through our job referral program. So what does that mean? So let me break it down for you. We have a lot of partner organizations globally. We have some in Nigeria, we have some in Canada. Our strongest footprint is in Canada. All right. So we have a technical organization in Canada that's partnered with us directly. So whenever they need professionals, and they know we train professionals, so they'll reach out to us. We are looking for a data analyst. We are looking for a data scientist. We are looking for a business analyst. Do you have anybody you can trust that you can send to us? Of course, we have people we can trust because we trained them ourselves. So we refer our best hands to these people, and when they get invited for interviews, we will prepare them for the interviews. And obviously, they will get the job because they have direct referral from us and also direct recommendation from us. So a lot of our students, in fact, the most recent students that landed a job through our referral program is her name is Adiola. What's her surname now? So in case you want to go online to find out, Adiola. Uh, I've forgotten. Maybe somebody help me in the chats. Maybe any of my Adiola Wariebi. Adiola Wariebi. So Adiola currently works with Tenalytics in Canada. All right. Adiola currently works with Tenalytics in Canada, but she's working from Nigeria. She's working remotely from Nigeria. She got this job through our job referral program. So you see, these are some of the things, and this is how you get job. It's not just by learning. If all you do is learn, you will take longer to secure your first job. And lastly, we also support our students on the job. So say you got a job, all right, you got a job, but for some reason there are some things you're unable to, complete. Maybe they are difficult for you. You're still a beginner. There are still some things that will be a struggle. All right, you need some support. Oh, they gave me a task like this in my workplace. I'm not sure I can really deliver. I'm not sure I can really do it like this. We will help these people. We will support them. Of course, they are not going to share company data with us. We enforce data privacy. So they will just give us insight into what they are trying to achieve. And because we have in-house experts, people who work for global organization, we have them in-house. We're going to bring one of those experts on a call with the students, describe the problem the student is facing on their job, and the expert will be able to provide expert recommendation, and the student is able to solve that problem. And that is another way we support our students. Now guys, look at step 1 and step 2 together right now. Just, you can see it on your screen. If you think that having access to this, if you think that if you have access to this and you will never get a job with access to these 2 steps, if you think once you have access to this, you are never getting a job, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. If you think with access to these 2 steps, these opportunities, you still will not get a job, give me a thumbs up. Muajid thinks if you have access to this, you won't get a job. Charles, maybe you didn't get my question. All right, let me ask again. If you think that somebody who has access to learning a high demand tech skill, and also not just that, and also has these positioning opportunities, you have CV assessments, LinkedIn optimized, portfolio, upper profile, mentorship, and somebody directly even referring you to a job. Do you think it's possible not to get a job? Do you think it's possible not to get a job? Great. So I knew that you didn't get the question. So this is the reason. This exactly is our secret sauce. This is what we take our student through. Any student that gets onboarded into Navient Analytics, this is what they have to go through. So if you are somebody who is lazy, you just want to learn, You only came to learn. Maybe Nebient Analytics is not for you, because here we don't just learn technical skills alone. You must be ready to put in the work. Your CV, you will submit it, we will review it, revamp it. Your LinkedIn, if you are saying, no, me, I don't like social media, I don't like to be on LinkedIn, then Nebient Analytics is not for you, because you will put yourself out there. Everything you are learning, you are going to talk about it on LinkedIn so that recruiters will begin to notice you. Also, you'll be ready to build a portfolio. If you're not ready to do all of that, maybe Nebient Analytics is for you. But for people who are ready to put in the work, know that these are the steps that you would have to go through. And once you've gone through this step one and this step two, then the third step would now be to now start applying strategically. So you've learned the skill, you've gained access to all of these positioning opportunities. Then, as a third step, you want to start applying to jobs strategically, and pay attention to the keyword strategically, because a lot of people just apply to jobs. No, applying to jobs randomly is killing your chance of getting a job. So, what do I mean by strategic application to jobs? As a rule, in fact, if there are any Nebient students on this call, they know this rule. You should never apply to multiple jobs with one CV. In fact, don't use one CV more than one time. So if you are using one CV to apply to a job once, if you have used this CV to apply to one job, that CV is no longer useful. If you want to apply for another job, you need to craft another CV specifically to the new job that you want to apply to. If you want to apply to a third job, you need a third CV to apply to that job. Why? Because you must match every CV to the specific job that you are trying to apply to. And there's a technique for that. It's called CV job matching. And we have built a tool, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social media platform for professionals. So instead of TikTok, where people are just dancing up and down, they're just wasting time. No, sorry, no, let me not say wasting time, because people also actually cash out from TikTok. All right, people cash out from TikTok. But you know what I mean by, people are just dancing up and down. Well, where we also have Facebook, where people are making friends. We have TikTok, where people are just catching crews and bantering themselves. We also have another social media platform for professionals, where you come to meet people in the corporate space. And that's where you meet people that will give you job, people that you will give job. It's all about the corporate and the job world. So that is LinkedIn. Do you understand that now? Who was that? I think that was David. David, do you get it now? You can just give me a thumbs up if you get it now. All right. So going back to applying to jobs strategically, you must not use a CV twice. All right. So that's the third step that our students go through. They now start applying strategically. And as part of this applications phase, as part of this third step, now whenever you want to apply to a job and they need somebody to stand for you, they need somebody to recommend you, to write you a recommendation letter. Our students also enjoy this. This is another step our students go through. They reach out to us. Oh, I applied to this job and they need somebody to write a recommendation letter for me. Nebient will do that, all right? Because this is the third step to ensure that you finally land that job. Imagine you got a job and they need somebody to write you a recommendation letter, and there's nobody to write you a recommendation letter. You would lose that job, all right? So without this third step of writing you a recommendation letter, you will not get that job. So that's why the third step is also crucial. And the last action in the third step is that, apart from learning and positioning, for you to even get to apply to jobs, you must know that there are job openings, right? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Before you can apply to a job, you must see a job posting, right? Great. So if you don't know how to get jobs that are currently open, we do that for our students. We are going to go online, get every data analysis, data science, and business analysis job opening. We will scrape them from the internet and send it to our students and tell them these jobs are currently open. Guys, apply, 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 apply. So not only do they get all of these benefits, we would also share job opportunities with them. So for our students that have been getting job, these are the steps that they follow to ensure they land the job. Guys, have you now seen what you need if you are looking to get into tech? Give me a thumbs up if yes. Give me a thumbs down if no. Amazing. So this is the secret that gets people the job. All right. And a lot of our students have gone through these steps. Apart from the people I showed you in the beginning, apart from Olua Tosin, a lot of our students have gone through these steps and they have gone ahead to land their first job. This is Mary. Mary is in Ghana. Just like you, I don't know how you saw our ad. Mary actually saw ours on Instagram, and then she decided to join a webinar like this, and she decided to sign up for a data analytics program last year, December. All right, so she started her program last year, December, and in May 2025, I think that should be about 5 or 6 months after she started. That means maybe about 1 or 2 months after she finished her program, Mary landed her first job in tech, but it was an internship. So it's also possible you don't get like the main job, but you would be able to learn something. So that was what Mary started with. She started with an internship, all right? And after the internship, she got another contract role, a 6 months initial contract with a long-term contract to follow once she's done with that initial 6 months. And that was how Mary was able to land her first job. And when Mary was sharing her story with us, she told us that the recruiter told her that what they were impressed with was the CV that she used to apply. Somebody with no experience. She used our CV format and she was able to use that to land an interview. And then we also prepared her for the interview and she was able to land the job. She had to follow all these steps and she got the result. We also have somebody like Ugochi. Ugochi was a she was a corporate, she was in the corporate space before she gave birth to her baby, and she had to leave the corporate space. And when she had taken care of her baby to a point and it was time to get back to work, she knew that she could no longer keep doing the whole Lagos traffic, the hustle and bustle of Lagos, and she decided it was time for remote work, flexible work arrangements that she can work from the comfort of her home and make good pay. And she decided on a webinar like this to join the business analysis program, and she did that in February 2025. Guys, fast forward to June. She started learning in February. By June, 1 month after her training, she got her first job as a business analyst at Marite Consulting. So from leaving the corporate space to now working as a business analyst at Marite Consulting, that is the story of Ugochi following this same three-step framework. A lot of our students have gone through this framework. Imagine I'm presenting all our students that has gotten a job tonight. You want to imagine the time we would leave this session. But I don't want to keep you for too long. So I'm just going to stop at these two people and then we go ahead. This is also Uduak Grace. She currently works as an application support engineer for an organization called Sparkle Nigeria. She used to be a computer operator at an insurance company, more like a front desk official. All right. But now she works fully in tech for Sparkle Nigeria. And the person on the right, her name is Eileen Okai. Eileen Okai was a graduate. She had a biology degree, but she couldn't really do anything sensible with that degree. And she decided, you know what, let me get into tech and see what the opportunities look like for me. She went through those three-step framework, and now Ellen works as a data analyst for an organization called Vestitude. So all of these people followed this framework, and they were able to achieve the same result, consistent result. And that's why we call that framework the framework that actually works, because everybody who was exposed to this framework delivered the exact framework that we expect. I mean, the results that we expect that the framework provides. So, for all of these people, you've seen how they were able to transform their lives by just following a simple but effective three-step framework. I can't keep going on and on. This is Naomi. All of them got the same results, but I think we've had enough story of other people today. Don't you agree? Don't you think we've heard enough story about other people? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with me. We've heard enough story about other people, right? So I'll just leave this slide with you. Remember, I'm going to be sharing the slide with you, so you can go through all of these students. All right, you can go through all of them. You can reach out to them personally. All right. So I've included also a link to their portfolio. All right. So for each of these students, you're going to see a link to their portfolio, so you can take a look at some of the projects that they've been building, how profound it has been, and why they've been able to land jobs. So, guys, let's now talk about you. So, if you want to be one of these people, this is where you now decide. You know, I've been hearing of these people, I've heard of so many people. I want to be the next person. All right. What you want to do is to sign up for any of our training programs. It could be data analytics, data science, or business analysis. And the next cohort is starting on the 4th of October. All right. So you want to block your calendar. All right. You want to block your calendar starting from the 4th of October. You join the training program. And remember, it's not just to train you on the technical skills. You will have to go through the entire three steps in the framework that lands you your first tech job. So, guys, 4th of October, the next course starts. If you are available to join this next course, I want to focus on you. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to start your journey in tech. And 4th of October sounds like a good time. All right, sounds like a good time. Give me a thumbs up, and we can't wait to replicate the results that we had with Esther, with Ellen, with Oluwatosin, with Oluwaseun, with Naomi, with the hundreds of our students that have transformed their life. Beautiful. So, how is the program like? All right. So, if you want to get on the program, remember you have to put in the work. All right. We are going to do our parts, but on your part, there's also an expectation, and the expectation is for you to put in the work for 4 months. So you're going to have to be ready to show up consistently for 4 months. The initial 3 months, you're going to be learning rigorously. You learn, go through all these three steps in the framework, and in the third month, you would have been, you know, grounded. All right, you would have been grounded. But we won't just let you go like that. To really prove that you have learned, to really prove to us that you are ready for the workforce, we will then take you in the 4th month, we'll then onboard you to our internship program. So at that point, you are no longer a student. You are now working for Nebians Analytics or any of our partner organizations. All right. You now work all the things you said you have learned. Now come and put it to practice. You will work and then add that to your CV. So in case they are telling you you need an experience to be able to land your first job, this is how our students have been getting the experience. They have it on their CV that they have worked with Nebiant Analytics as either a data analyst associate, a data science associate, or a business analyst associate. So 4 months, 3 months of learning, 1 month of internship, and classes hold on Saturday. All right, classes, live classes for projects. building real world solutions that you can showcase on LinkedIn and you can also add to your portfolio. That live class will hold on Saturday, and that's when you get to meet your instructor live. You guys will be building solutions together. Be building real world solutions together every Saturday. And to prepare you for that Saturday class, you would have a set of instructional videos. They are preparatory videos that you would have to complete, all right, to learn the theory. You learn all the theories and the practicals. Then on Saturday's live class, you will now demonstrate. You will use it to build a solution. All right, you will use it to build a solution. All right, but not just that. Remember, you don't only need learning, you also need other things. On Thursday, every Thursday, you'll be meeting with your mentors. All right. Every Thursday is dedicated for mentorship. You are not learning Excel, you're not learning Power BI, you're not learning anything technical. You are learning the employability side of things. How do you answer interview questions? How do you negotiate for salary? How do you, overcome imposter syndrome? How do you navigate the complexities of the tech space? How do you handle remote work experience? All of those things you're going to be learning from your mentors every Thursday. And on Tuesdays, in case you have any challenge throughout the week that you need the attention of your facilitators, of your instructors, there's a dedicated day of the week, which is Tuesday. You get into a session with your facilitators, with your instructors, and they will help you overcome any challenge that you might be having. It is not to learn, it is to be sure that your learning journey is effective. So that is the structure of the program. Does it make sense to you guys? Does it make sense to you? Give me a thumbs up. It makes sense to you. Fantastic. So if you're ready for this kind of work and this kind of exposure, remember, 4th of October, that is when your journey starts. All right. So if you are ready to start any of the program, it could be data science, it could be business analysis, it could be data analytics, at Nebiant Analytics, the standard fee, all right, to join any of our program. And I'm saying standard fee because some people on this call, they will not pay that standard fee. And it's just a small set of people. You guys are not going to pay that standard fee because you're on this call. I will give you an opportunity to say, you know what, I want to pay at a discount. But what is the standard fee? The standard fee for the program is 350,000 naira for the entire 4 months of learning, the exposure, the job referral, the interview, everything I've talked about. 350,000 naira. Everything 350,000 naira. But that is not, I can see some reactions. Don't worry. Don't worry. I can see some crying reaction, or is it sad reaction? We are also aware how difficult it might be for Nigerians, all right, for Africans. And because we are targeting Africans, we also thought, how can we make it flexible? So wait, all right, just stay with me. You will see how you can make this very flexible for you. But if you're on this call, all right, if you're on this call, you want to take advantage of a discount that I will make available to you, you are able to take 100,000 naira off of that. And instead of paying 350,000 naira, you are only paying 250,000 naira. I am waiving off 100,000 naira off. So instead of 350,000 naira, you are only paying 250,000 naira if you want to secure the discount. And the caveat to that is this: you have to secure the discount tonight. If you want to secure the discount, you have to secure it tonight. But don't worry, still stay with me. Everything we are doing here at Nebians, we are customer centric. All right, we are customer centric. So if you want to secure the discount tonight, you only get to pay 250,000 naira. But does that mean you have to pay the entire 250,000 naira tonight? The answer is, who can guess? If you want to secure the discount, do you need to pay everything right here, right now on this call? If you remember, I said the discount is available tonight. If you are not paying, if you are not taking advantage of the discount tonight, you have missed out on the discount. But does that mean you have to pay the entire 250,000 naira tonight? The answer is a big no, because we have thought about how to make it flexible for Africans, and we decided to introduce a 3 installment plan. All right, 3 installment plan. So you can break that discount down into 3 installments. If you want to take advantage of the discount, you are allowed to pay that in 3 installments. All right. And to access the discount, you only need to complete 1 installment. All right. To secure the discount, you only need to complete only 1 installment. So let me walk you through how the installment is going to look like. For you to start with the October cohort, you need to have completed 85,000 naira between now and when class starts on the 4th of October. So after you have completed the first installment, you have access to class. We will onboard you into class. You will go to class. You have paid. All right. You have paid your first installments. Now you are a student. And you now have 1 month to look for the second installment. So after you have completed the first installment to join the October cohort, you then have till the end of October to complete your second installment. After you have completed your second installment, you then have 1 month after, meaning the end of November, to complete your third installment. So look at it this way: you have from now till October 4th to complete your first installment. You have from the beginning of October till the end of October to complete your second installment. And you have from the beginning of November till the end of November to complete your third installment. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. Fantastic. So all you need to do is secure your discount with just 1 installment. All right. So if you want to pay, if you want to secure the discount, you want to pay just 250,000 naira, make sure you have secured it with just 1 installment. All right, with just 1 installment. So make a deposit or a transfer or anything you want to do. Just make a direct transfer to this account you can see on your screen. All right, 30026. You can see it. I don't even need to read it out for you. That is the account you need to make a direct transfer to. But I can hear some people say, oh, what about students? What about students? Don't worry. We also understand that, oh, it is also possible. Now, this is where you listen to me. All right. We know that it is also possible that, yes, you want to take advantage of this discount, but you cannot, complete the entire 85,000 naira tonight. You need to complete 1 installment to secure the discount. But it's also possible there are people on this call who cannot even get that entire first installment tonight. What can you do to still make sure that you have access to the discount? Now, this is what I would do for you. I have come prepared for you guys just to help as many people as possible. This is what I can do for you. All right. And if you would take advantage of this, I can make it work just for you. What you need to do, you only need to make an initial commitment of at least 30,000 naira tonight. Once you make a commitment of 30,000 naira, you have automatically secured that discount. So you have between now and when your program starts to pay the remaining balance of the first installment, which will be what? 55,000 naira. So instead of paying 85,000 naira now, no, you don't need to do that. Just secure that seat in class. Secure your seat in class. Secure your discount with at least 30,000 naira. And if 30,000 naira is all you can do tonight, it is also welcome. So you make an initial commitment of 30,000 naira, and then you are from now till before class starts on the 4th of October to make that complete first installment, which will leave the balance at 55,000 naira. So 30,000 naira now, 55,000 balance before October 4th, and you have completed your first installment and you get into class. And then you have months and months to complete your second and third installment. So if you are taking advantage of that, all right, you only need to make that direct transfer to this account you can see on your screen. Send us a proof of payment, and then we will onboard you. That's all. That is all. Yes, the class will be online because we are preparing our students to be able to take up virtual remote opportunities. If you cannot learn online, you cannot work online. All right, that's the simple truth. So if you are taking advantage of the discount, you have a lot of opportunities. You have a lot of options. Is that you want to complete the entire 250,000 naira tonight? Very fantastic. Do so. Make a direct transfer to the account details you can see on your screen. Beautiful. But if you say, oh, I can't afford the entire 250,000 naira tonight, what I can do is just the first installment. Also do so. Beautiful. Pay 85,000 naira tonight. Send us a proof of payment. We onboard you to class. As simple as that. But if you're also on the call, you can't pay 250,000 naira tonight to get the entire program, or you can't pay 85,000 naira tonight to get your first installment, but you still want to secure the discount. You also have the opportunity to make an initial commitment of 30,000 naira, and that is all you need. We then give you time from now till before class starts to complete that first installment. So if you're doing that, you want to do that very briefly, because remember the discount is for people on the call. So take advantage while the call is still on, or you lose out. So it's time to ask questions. So don't forget, if you're making payments, do so. I've left the account details on the screen. Secure the discount, send us a proof of payment, or type done, or let me know when you have made that payment and you've sent a receipt, and then we can enroll you into the program, and we can't wait to see you transform your life by getting into tech. So this is where we, give room for questions for the next 8 to 9 minutes. We answer questions. Ask me any question you want to ask, and then we can proceed. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. This is how to raise your hand. Just use this icon that looks like a palm, and when I see you raise your hand, I'm going to call you. You ask your question, I will answer you. If you don't want to speak, you can also type your question in the chat. I'll look at the chat and answer all the questions I find. But if you want to speak, raise your hand. So Annie Caroline, I've already answered. Yes, the program is online. It's okay for me. Fantastic. So Annie, secure your discount tonight, and welcome to class. Welcome to the program. What if you cannot make it for this batch? When is the next admission batch? So the only current admission cohort we have running is the October cohort. That's the only one we know of. Will there be a future cohort? Maybe, maybe not. Obviously, there would be a future cohort, but the future cohort we only know of now is the cohort that we have opened, which is October. So if you want to, join the October cohort, please secure the discounts, or if you don't like the discounts, you want to pay 350,000 naira, that is also fine. But if you don't want to pay 350,000, which is the standard fee, you want to secure a discount, make sure you do so before I end this call. And another thing you can do is to also secure the discount, all right? And also secure the discount for a future cohort in case you cannot join. You cannot join now, all right? You cannot join now, and you want to join in the future. What you can do again is to secure the discount in case of the future, because you might come in that future and will tell you, look, the demand for our program has increased, and because of that, the kind of quality we are putting into it has also increased. So we have increased our price from 350,000 naira to say 450,000, or maybe even 500,000. What would you say then? That, oh, and I had an opportunity to pay 250,000 and I missed it. So what you can do to tie our hands, all right, is secure that discount now with at least 30,000 naira. And once you do so, once you have sent us a proof of payment, we have you on record as somebody who had secured the discount at 250,000 naira. and that's all you get to pay. All right, so that would be my recommendation for you. Please, when is the next bar so that we can prepare? I've also answered that question. Does the ELA, will there be certificate after? Absolutely, absolutely. There would be certificates. So days you are meeting with your facilitators and mentors are Saturdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So Saturdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So because you need time in between to practice, you can't be coming to class every day. You need time in between to practice to be really sure that without somebody monitoring you, you can really do the job. So you have in between those days to put everything you have learned to practice. Does that answer your question, Daziela? Just give me a thumbs up if that answer your question. Guys, don't forget, this session will soon shut down. So if you're securing the discount, do so and make sure you send us a proof of payment. How many days? Okay, I've answered that. Who would not want discount? Give me more time for the discount. You have more time for the discounts. Just secure your interest for the discount with at least 30,000 naira. You don't need to pay the entire 85,000 naira now. All right, you don't need to pay the entire amount now. With just 30,000 naira, you have secured the discount, and you then have a lot of days to look for the remaining 55,000 naira. Is it possible to run the course on phone for someone who don't have computer? Dibia, I would only be interested in your money if I tell you the answer to that question is yes, but it is no. You need a laptop because we are not teaching you just to learn. We are teaching you to be able to put it to practice. So if you don't have a laptop, the program is not for you. But this is another thing. We've had students in the past who did not have laptop. All they needed was somebody who has a laptop that they can use that person's laptop for the program. All right. So you can learn. You can learn on your phone. You can attend class on your phone, but you cannot practice on your phone. Remember, this is not just to learn. It is also to be able to show workings. All right. And you need a laptop for that. All right. So if you have somebody who has a laptop, you can also get them to. Is this tech open way for traveling sponsorship? As a matter of fact, I have quite a number of people in my network that are traveled out of the country because the job abroad sponsored them. There's what is called there are some jobs that have visa sponsorship. All right, so tech is the only thing that gives you that, or maybe let me not say tech. Some people have also gone through the part of NHS. That's for people in the UK, maybe health job, nursing job. But you know what those people go there and do? Wash people's butts or take care of old people. That's not how you want to live your life. But if you want to get sponsorship abroad and do something very dignitary, tech is the way for you. So that should answer your question. Is there an installment plan for the 350,000 naira? No, there's no installment plan. We are only normally we shouldn't be talking about installments, but in a bid to make it easier and flexible for Africans, that was why we introduced the discount and also allowance for installments for the discount. All right. And all you need to do tonight, all right, all you need to do tonight is just to secure with 30,000 naira, and you can go and comfortably look for the rest. All right. Try to make the transfer, but I'm having a network problem. Must be must payments be made during the call? The discount, unfortunately, is for people who are on the call. So how would I know that I'm giving you the discount because you joined my call if you're not securing it on the call? Somebody else who did not join can just take advantage of it. All right, can just take advantage of it, and we don't want that to happen. So that's why you have to ensure to make the discount on the call. All right, you have to secure the discount on the call. Does the Ella, you've secured your discount? Did you okay? You've sent the screenshot to which number? The first one or the second one? Is it the 0701156 or the last one? First or second? You can just tell me, is it the Ayobami or the Nebiant? To make it very easy for you, you can just send it to me. You can send it to Ayobami. The link took me to the WhatsApp. Okay. All right. You can also, just take my number on the call and just send it to me. You receive feedback, definitely, but let me leave my number with you also. You can also share that with me so that I can directly interact with you. Is that fine, Dazi Ella? Is that fine? All right. So for let me see. So for I don't think this is your first name. So let me call you Charlene. Is it okay to call you Charlene? Is it okay to call you Charlene? Is that your actual name? Charlene Ugu. I'm guessing Ugu is your surname, so I don't want to call you that. So is it okay to call you Charlene? You can just give me a thumbs up. No record of people on this call. I joined from 8 p.m. Let me see. I can source my 30K within 24 hours from now. So obviously there's a record of people on the call. If you fill out the attendance, all right, if you fill out the attendance without a record of, but what I'm saying is this is my discount. This is me giving you opportunities to pay at a discount, because for every session I run, I have been able to speak with management that for anybody that joins my session, I want to give them a discount. All right. So if you pay outside of my call, there's no way to tell that you benefited from my discount. So that's why but this is what I would do, all right, Bumi. For Bumi and also Charlene, all right? For Bumi and also Charlene. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me drop my number with you guys. Send me a DM now. Send me a DM and I'll see what I can do. Is that fine? Give me a thumbs up if that is fine for Bumi and Charlene. People that are trying to make payments for network or maybe time and all of that. Give me a thumbs up, Bumi and Charlene, if you have gotten my number. Just give me a thumbs up, Bumi, Charlene. Copy my number, send me a DM. All right. If all right, Bumi has gotten my number. Charlene, I've yet to get your response. I'm yet to get your response. Can you give us 24 hours to try to pay the 30K? 24 hours. See, we've heard this a lot. All right. We've heard this. A lot of people say, you know what, give me 1 hour and allow me to still make the payments once the call is off, 1 hour, and then they come back. All right. They come back and tell you, oh, sorry, something came up. All right. That's why I want to prioritize people that are ready, because I personally will be ensuring that these people get the kind of results that I've spoken about. How do we know when we can register for it? The next batch, the only next batch that we here at Nebiant Analytics are aware of, except maybe you want to start a new batch for us, but the only next batch that we here at Nebiant Analytics have make provisions for. All right, because you don't just bring people together to come and teach them. You also need to make provision for those people. So the only next batch we have made an arrangement for is the one starting by October. All right. So if you want to take advantage of that. Sorry, is the training on site or online? It is online. It is online. We are trying to train you to take up opportunities abroad. If you can't learn online, how do you work successfully online? So, Miss Soma, let me give you my number, all right? Let me give you my number. Send me a DM, all right? I'll see what I can do for you. Send me a DM, only on the condition that you really know that you want to get on board. All right. So just send me a DM right now. Send me a DM. I've left my number in the chat. All right, guys. Are there more questions? If there are no more questions, I would like to shut down the session. Yes, Dazi Ella, you are a Daisy, right? You are a Daisy. I would respond to you immediately after the call. That's a promise. I'll respond to you immediately after the call. All right, guys, I want to be sure that I'm not the one, or I'm not the reason why you're unable to secure the discount. So I'm going to call Dibia. Dibia. Dibia, you said I have paid. When did you pay? Is the question. Did you pay tonight or you have paid before? Only Mary Dibia. I'm very, very sorry if I murdered the name. Okay, you paid now. Have you sent a screenshot? You know what? Let's make it easy for you. Let's make it easy for you. Send the screenshot to this number 0706578252. Send a screenshot of your payment to me. I will forward everything you need to you once you send that screenshot. Let me see. Ruth at DBC, you said you would try. So what do you mean by that? Do you want to speak? Do you want to let me know what you mean by you will try? You will try what? Do you want to speak, Ruth, if that is fine by you? Do you want to speak? Do you want to speak, Ruth? Very quickly, or you want to chat what you mean by you will try? I want to know what you mean by you will try. Very quickly, Ruth, so that I know that I'm not the reason you're unable to secure the discount. I will send it after because I'm using my phone for the class. Okay. So make sure you grab my number. Make sure you okay, all right. So make sure you grab my number. So Ruth, I'm still waiting for you. I'm still waiting for Ruth. Ruth, you're the one I'm waiting for. Otherwise, I'm just gonna shut down. I'm just gonna shut down the session if um you're sorted. I want to be sure that everybody's sorted, all right? So I want to ask one last time. If you have a question for me, give me a thumbs up. If you don't have a question for me, please give me a thumbs down. I beg you, so that I'm sure that I have sorted everybody. Question for me, thumbs up. No question, thumbs down. Fantastic. All right, my next question. You still want to secure the discount tonight? Thumbs up. You are all good. Thumbs down. You still want to secure the discount tonight? Thumbs up. You are all good. Thumbs down. So Daniel, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to wait for you or what? Talk to me. What do you need? Do you want me to wait for you or what? Hi, Daniel. I just made the payment of 30K. Please confirm. Again, to make it easy for you, just send me a DM. All right, just send me a DM to make it easy for you. All right, so I think that was the only person we're waiting for. Daniel is the only person we're waiting for. So guys, I mean, I've had a nice time having this conversation with you guys, and I hope it was worth your time. Please, let me know if it was worth your time or I have completely wasted your time. Please let me know if I have completely wasted your time or you had a nice time, doing this with me. All right, awesome. I can't wait to see the amazing things that the future holds for everybody on the call. I'm sure you picked out one or two things that you can go ahead to implement, to start and do excellently well in the tech um, space, for lack of a better word. So it was nice doing this with you. For everybody that wants to reach out to me, please make sure that you don't forget to save my number. I'll drop it one last time, 070. In case you want to type out, I'll call it out very slow. In case you want to type out my number, I will call it out very slow, very slowly. All right. 07065782532. So that's my number. All right. So grab the number. You're still making payment tonight. You want me to give you some time? That's totally fine. Just make sure you reach out to me before I close my window. I can't wait to see the amazing things you're gonna do. So good night, everybody. Dibia and Daniel and Adaize, I'll be in your DMs. Good night, everybody.